What's up, everybody? Billtendo here with the arcade cabinet, doing another speed run today with our buddy Dino from the UK. So the last one I did was actually on online multiplayer versus single player story slash campaign mode, and I had numerous people reach out to me and want to offer their opinion on it. So I figured we'd go a little more in depth. And Dean is a friend of the Arcade Cabinet podcast. He's been on several times with us, and I hope to see him quite a bit more on there. And he and I were talking, and he has an opinion on it. So I figured let's just put him on here. We'll discuss it here where you guys can hear what Dean has to say. So with that, Dean, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thanks. Thank you very much, Bill. As far as I'll say campaign modes go against multiplayer, they both have their advantages. Obviously, with campaign, there's a story mode behind it, which is inevitably, as a movie fan, that sort of interests me more than multiplayer. However, I must admit, I have been playing a lot of Rainbow Six Siege over the last 4 or 5 years, and I have actually met a lot of people who I have welcomed into my life, and we've actually become quite good friends. But there is one big problem with multiplayer. It's the
What's
human.
that?
It's the human element.
Okay.
I mean, Rainbow Six Siege is one of the most toxic environments and games that you can have. I mean, there's a YouTuber called Spontaneous. One of my friends who I actually met during Siege, he says, check this lass out and just play one of the vids. I played one of the vids and I immediately felt I was in the 1960s again. I thought this cannot be happening already.
So it's reminiscent of the early Xbox 360 chat rooms, like when you're playing and everybody has the absolute most horrible, sexist, misogynistic, racist things to say to each other.
I will say a lot of that, yes, but I should point out for the record, not everyone is actually bad. I mean, I've met quite a lot of people through
Right.
Rainbow Six Siege. I've met a few from through Predator Hunting Grounds. I've met quite a few through F1. I mean, me and my best mate of 26 years. I mean, we used to play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Spec Ops missions. This was when it was on PS3. We had a whale of a time. We used to love it. We used to play Burnout Paradise on the Xbox 360. Absolutely brilliant time.
Right. Well, I'm not going to name any names because we're on some of the same platforms, but there are certain YouTubers that have to do with video games that they themselves are great, but their fan bases are extremely toxic, and
Yeah,
you have to separate the two because they're not one and the same. But I feel like that's a lot harder to do when you get down to talking about an online multiplayer game because the game is also the people that
yeah.
play it.
Everyone's just as
So
bad as each other. Yeah, everyone can have an opinion about one thing, and it's like, right, you're entitled to your opinion, and then somebody else will go, yeah, but that doesn't make it the right opinion. I mean, there's always a lot on Rainbow Six Siege that needs changing. It'll be like, right, she needs a nerf, he needs a buff. This needs to go from, say, competitive play. We need this going from the map pool. And I look at half of these decisions that people are saying. I'm like, why do you need to do that? There's one map, Outback. It's set in Australia in the Outback. I think it's absolutely one of the best maps that Ubisoft has ever come up with. And everyone's saying, get it out of ranks. And I'm like, why? Why does it need to go? It's one of the best maps there is.
because a certain group of people don't like that particular map, I guess.
Yeah. And the worst thing is nobody explains why they don't like it. It's just I want it gone. I mean, I was chatting on Twitter last week, I think it was. I said Consular, which is another map on Siege, is one of the most boringest maps there is. I actually gave me reasons why, and then I can't remember his name, but he just mailed back and said nope. And I'm like, what? Are you just you're basing that? You're just saying no. You're not basing your answer on any fact or anything. So I just said,
Yeah.
well, in that case, I win. I win. Consular is
Yeah.
absolutely really bad. Didn't say
Look,
anything after that.
right. If you're just being contrary to be contrary, you're
Yeah,
not in the right.
not.
So, I have an opinion as far as this goes because I'm not an online multiplayer guy. I enjoy almost all of my games, and I'd say 99% of them are single player story campaigns. And also, like one of the ways I see it, I was thinking about this while I was driving around a little while ago. Um, when you are playing a game like, say, Rainbow Siege, or you're playing
Yeah.
Fortnite, you're playing Apex, man, you can beat that guy. You're better than that other guy. But are you better than you? Because that's what I get out of my single player games. You know, I failed to do this triple wall jump and figure out
Yeah.
the puzzle. But then I went back and I did figure it out. So I beat me. I bested myself. And I get a huge satisfaction from that because I achieved something that I didn't think I could achieve. I figured
Yeah.
something out I didn't think I could do.
Yeah, I'm like that all the time with campaign modes and solos. It's kind of like, right, I need to do something like this. I mean, the worst game I ever played was James Pod 2 Robocod. There was always one bit on the second level, and this is including me and my sister as well. There was one bit we could not get across because we did not know how to progress further. And we tried,
Uh,
but we just could not.
Huh. Yeah, I've done that in numerous games.
Yeah,
I remember Zelda games I've been stuck in. One that got me, and it was so frustrating. It was actually the first time I ever looked up an online FAQ.
yeah.
Um, was Blood Omen 2 for the PS2. And I
Oh,
got
that's
stuck in
fantastic.
this damn room, and I was trying to move statues and everything else, and I was stuck in this one room, and I was in there for like 2 or 3 hours straight, and I was so frustrated. And I walked next door to where they had a video rental store, and I was friends with the guy there, and he's like, "Look, you can look it up online if you want." And I hopped on his computer, and it turns out I was pushing a statue the wrong way.
Yeah,
I was doing the right thing, and that was the first time I ever looked something up on an FAQ because there were no videos back then.
no,
You
there weren't.
know, this was this was a text layout that looked like somebody sat there and typed the whole thing up. But you know, every once in a while I hit something like that. It's rare, but it happens to all of us.
I think the worst game for that is Alien Isolation.
I'm not familiar with it.
Basically, it's set between Alien and Aliens, and you play Amanda Ripley's daughter, and she gets marooned on a station while trying to find her mum. The premise of it is good. You can't kill the alien; you only have certain things. But the only problem is they made the AI in the alien way too strong. I remember I was stuck at one bit for an hour and a half because the AI was constantly, evolving and getting better. It did not do the same thing twice. You're like, right, do I move from here or do I stay here? I really don't know. So an hour and a half later, after I first started, I moved from where I was, and he was standing over me, and I was dead straight afterwards. I thought, I've just wasted an hour and a half of my life struggling, deciding when to come out, and literally the minute I come out, he's literally right on top of me. I never touched
Right.
it again after that.
Oh, really? You ever run into games where the amount of choices frees you? You know, like you personally, like, okay, if I do this, this might happen. If I do this, this might happen. And then you stall out because you don't want to make the next move because
Yeah,
there's too many different variables that could go in. It's not like this is a straight hallway and when
yeah.
I get to the end, there's a boss fight.
Telltale was widely renowned for that because I've got a few of their games. I've got Guardians of the Galaxy, there's a Game of Thrones one, two Batman one, the
Uh-huh.
Walking Dead one. Their motto was always basically what you do in one choice will affect how the game goes. Because I remember in the second one of Batman, it basically what your choice as Batman determined how the Joker was going to come out. If he was going to be like a vigilante or like proper Joker, which for me was actually quite intriguing as well.
Right. Huh. Sounds sounds interesting. Before we wrap up, Dean, you wanna plug anything?
Uh, I'm always on Twitter as Final Cut and Final Cut Gaming. You'll find me on Facebook as well under Final Cut Reviews, and I'm always on. I'm on and I'm on New House Media with Marcus for our monthly movie chat.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll provide as many of your links as I can down below in the description. I'll also leave the links for all of the arcade cabinet stuff, arcade cabinet merchandise, t-shirts, Billtendo t-shirts, whatever you guys are interested in, tank tops, hoodies, coffee mugs, we got them for you. And I want to thank Dino again for being here with me, and I'll see you guys later.
It is.